If you want to learn the secrets of exactly how to get graphic design clients as a freelancer, listen up, because after 7 years of being a graphic designer myself, of which 5 years spent freelancing and the last 3 years doing this full-time, building my own studio, got emptistudio, hiring my first full-time designer in-house, making consistent 10K plus months for myself, I think I really cracked the code. And it's not that hard because I've never ran ads. Everything is either word of mouth or inbound clients. I rarely have to reach out to people anymore, and I have a very consistent client flow, and my booking rate is almost, I feel like it's like 80%. Everyone who jumps on a call with me, they get through this process of being self-validated by going onto my website. So the first thing is you really need to showcase who you are, the level of expertise you have, and set a tone for the price that they should be expected to pay. And this is quite controversial, which is my first secret, is showcase your pricing on your website as a way of filtering out clients that is not in the price range, and also building value and trust. So what I do when you go onto the emptistudio website, there is a pricing tab at the top. You click into it, you know exactly how much I charge. My 3 packages for branding, my 3 packages for website, how my retainers are priced, and what you can expect. Because when I jump on sales call, a line that I always really love to use is say, I know there's other graphic design studios out there, you've probably talked to a few of them, they charge based on what I call like value pricing. And that is pretty much if they see that you are a mega company, you have 200, 300 employees, they will charge you more than a startup. But I kind of reverse this psychology and say, I prefer transparent pricing. I know exactly how long this will take me, and I know exactly the value I can offer you, and my pricing is transparent. It doesn't matter who come to me, because I know that this is what I can offer. And if they are a bigger client, they would feel like, okay, I'm not being like scammed, because value-based pricing, I know it's such a good thing for us as service providers, but clients, they know about this as well. If they're a CEO, they're a COO, they know value pricing, and they know exactly what is being used on them. So the sweet spot is I position my price relatively on the slightly higher end, so 6 to 15K, and I say, if you go and reach out to agencies, they're going to charge you triple this. If you go on Fiverr, they're never going to be able to deliver you the same quality. I deliver you the quality of agencies, but at a much more affordable price range, and I have transparent pricing. You're working with me directly. I'm not handing your work off to someone else, to a junior designer. You're going to be working directly one-on-one with me. And then the other thing is really have amazing case studies and hone in on your skill set. A line I also love to use is, I say, it's not that hard to look like Apple. Any good designer, they can analyze the colors, the fonts, the types of imagery, and they can create you a marketing campaign that looks just as good or even better than Apple. And that is true. As a designer, we undervalue the amount of brilliance that we can bring to a brand. There's literally been clients that came to me with nothing but an idea for an app, an idea for a product. They had nothing, no colors, no branding, no logo, no product, and literally we designed everything for them. And all you have to do is just reverse engineer brands that are working really well, that you love, that your clients love, that is top tier, and reverse engineer exactly what they use. Which font are they using? Which colors are they using? Why do they work so well together? And it's magic. It seems like magic to clients, but for us, it's really just composition. It's composition, layout, and the way that you organize information. That is literally it. So portfolio, another thing to really hone in on. Another secret to getting clients is asking them why. Like, why do they need this? Why do they want this? And also don't be afraid to push back a little bit and say, is this really that important to you? What is this going to do for you? And almost play devil's advocate, because when you do so, you are getting them to tell you why you are so important. So sometimes it just is a conversation of why. So like, why did you reach out to me? And they say, I needed a brand. We're trying to reach out to investors and our brand isn't looking so great. And I was like, then why now? And then they'll say, because we're looking to get investment in the next 2 months and we don't really have a pitch deck. And I'd ask them why, like, why is a pitch deck so important? And they're like, well, if you don't have a pitch deck and we don't look professional, then the investors, they won't want to work with us. And I ask things like, how much of investment are you looking to get? And they said, oh, maybe around like the 100K mark of investment, like, or sometimes it's like tens and hundreds and thousands, or even up to $1 million mark if you're talking to like property developers, for example, like I've worked with. And you start to build value and they start to see how important this is. And after this conversation, then you can really understand their pain point. A lot of the times designers, we just focus on design. We focus on, we can create you this logo and then that logo, and then we're going to do this for your website. We're going to animate these things. And that's what we love. We talk about colors, we talk about fonts. Businesses, yes, they love that. They want you to show visually where you can create, but they want to talk business and ROI, return on investment. So you need to really understand, why are they doing branding? Why do they want their packaging done? Whatever service you offer, get to the depth. And usually the core is they want to increase their revenue, that their marketing isn't working, that they want, to be able to sell more, get more clients, get more leads through the door, all that stuff. That is what you want to get to at the end of the day, and tie whatever your service is directly to the transformation that they want to receive. And that is it. That is really how you talk about pricing, how you go about selling. And the final advice is to don't be discouraged and follow up. After you've done that sales call, for example, you've jumped on a sales call, that is really where you want to get. Every lead, the only place you can transition them to a client is on a sales call. You can call a discovery call, a consultation call, where you answer their questions, they tell you what they need, and then you see if you're a good fit. And sometimes people would kind of go off that call, they say, oh, that sounds good, I'll get back to you, and they never do. Very common. Don't take it personally. Then what you're going to start to do is put them in your follow-up system. There's a quote, something along the lines of, on average, most sales only come through after the 7th, 8th, or 9th follow-up. I bet most designers out there aren't even following up a single time, because we're like, oh, if they don't reach out, I guess they didn't like me. But no, it might just be because it's not the right time, it might be just because they're shopping around, it might just be because they're busy. But continuously follow up to them without being pushy, deliver them value. For example, say, hey, I just, created this project recently, or created this mock-up, or I saw this brand, or this example of a website, and I thought of you. And you can send it to them as an inspo, and it's like, oh, after our conversation, I think this type of a vibe would really work well for your brand. For example, you can send them some articles, you can send them little tidbits of advice, or you can do a little audit of the website. Go on the website and be like, hey, I know we just jumped off the call, I know you're busy, but I just, wanted to say, you can actually change this around, or imagine if we did this, and this. And just to have them think of you sometimes without being pushy, just delivering value. And when they're ready, they're going to come back to you, because when they've jumped on a sales call with you, the chances of them becoming a client is a lot higher than you continuously reaching out to new people, because they already saw some promise in you. That's why they jumped on the call in the first place. So that is everything about the secret of selling. I'm going to dive in on another video talking about the power of word of mouth, and how even if you don't have connections, we can actually manufacture word of mouth if we're clever about it in a genuine way. And if you're curious how I make 10K a month or more by turning one-time projects into recurring revenue, how you can make a substantial amount of living doing exactly what it is that you love, we have an upcoming masterclass called the 10K Masterclass, where I pull back the curtains and dive into everything from finding your first high-ticket client, even if you don't have connections, to how to approach them, to how to get them on a call, to how to follow up after the call, how to onboard them once you actually get the sale, and how to get the sale, proposals, invoices, contracts, all of that. I'm going to dive into it, and then how to, of course, move them onto a recurring retainer, which is the holy grail that every freelancer needs to do if they want their business to be sustainable and enjoyable. Thank you for hanging out with me to the end. If you enjoyed this video, I know you're also going to love this one on the left. If you like listening on the go, which I do, there's a podcast version called the Brand Creator Podcast. Really appreciate you for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.